Hello, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here and welcome to my 2024 Project Pan intro. So some products have rolled over from 2023, some are completely new to the project, and in some categories I've completely changed the rules of my Project Pan. So let's hop right into it, starting with the products that have rolled over into the new year. The first one is my Winky Lux Universal Brow Pencil. I'm just going to keep working on this because this is something I reach for every time I do my makeup. So this is one of those that is going to be kind of like a guaranteed empty. This is definitely one that I will finish up this year. I don't know how long it will take me. I would estimate May, June, maybe. This has just been the never-ending brow pencil. It is starting to get low. This is all I have left. So I do believe I can finish it. It's just lasted me so long that I just want it in here. I want to see if I can finish it up and move on to something else. And this is one that I know I can finish up this year. And I do like to have products in my Project Pan that I know for sure I can finish. That way it kind of keeps me motivated, because I'm going to have a guaranteed empty, if that makes sense. So I'm really excited to still have this in my project. The other product that will be rolling into 2024 is my Patrick Ta Cream Foundation and Finishing Powder Duo. So I've mentioned before, I do not like this product. And this is one where we have a cream foundation and we have a powder. I am not trying to finish up the powder. I really don't like the powder as much as I don't like the foundation. I like the powder even less. I absolutely love Patrick Ta. I love his products. I love his whole brand, but this is just the one product that I cannot get along with. So I really do want to hit pan on this cream foundation. This is one that was really expensive. When I first tried it out, I thought that perhaps I was the problem. I just could not make this work. I kept trying so many different ways with so many different product combinations, and I couldn't make it work. And by the time that I realized that I just don't like this product, it was past the return window. So I'd like to at least hit pan on the cream foundation. This is one that I can deal with if I go in with very light layers. So I'm just gonna do that and see if I can at least hit pan on this at some point this year. So I mentioned that I was sort of changing the rules a little bit when it comes to certain product categories. And I think somebody suggested this for me last year with blushes. I have a ton of blush, particularly after 2023, which seems like it was the year of blush for me. I have so many, but I don't keep nearly enough in the rotation. So instead of trying to pan a blush, which can truly take forever, and I find I get very discouraged when that is happening, I'm going to put a usage limit on my blushes. I will have different blushes cycling into the project all year long, and once I hit my usage goal, I will cycle it out and put something else in. And I think that will allow me to reach for other blushes as I please, but will also help me get use out of a lot more of my collection. So the blush I'm putting in first is from Charlotte Tilbury, and this is the Cheek to Chic blush in the shade Pillow Talk. So I've actually been using this a ton over the past few weeks. It's one of those products that I kind of rediscovered, and I think I love this so much more than I used to. So I really do want to keep this one out and get a lot more use out of it. So I decided that I am going to try for 15 uses on this one. That might be a bit steep. I could do 10, I could do 12, but I think I'm going to start with 15 to start and see how that goal suits me. But I do want to try to get 15 uses out of this. I did use it today, so I've marked that down. So 14 more uses, and then this can be cycled out. I have really been enjoying it though. I don't think I adequately appreciated this blush when I first tried it out a year or two ago, and then I kind of pulled it out recently and I feel like I'm in love with it. So I don't know, preferences change throughout the year. They really do. So I'm really excited to have this one in and see how that strategy of having usage goals works out for me. I actually do have 2 more Charlotte Tilbury products in this project. That was not intentional, but I've also included my Magic Vanish. So this is my very favorite under eye corrector, and I have the shade 1 Fair. So it's just this really pretty peachy little color corrector, and this is beautiful. This is one that I really, really love, but at the same time, I can often be very neglectful of my color correctors, my eye brighteners, because I'll just go in with concealer and call it a day. And while I do have a dip out of this and I've used it a ton, it would be nice to at least have pan in it. Because for a product I love this much, and of course I spent a lot, it is Charlotte Tilbury, I would like to at least have pan in this product. So I decided to toss this one in as well. And the other Charlotte Tilbury product I decided to add in is my Beautiful Skin Sun Kissed Glow Bronzer. So this one came out, I think, in 2022, and this has been my absolute favorite cream bronzer. It still is. I still really, really love this, and I have this one in the shade One Fair. I love this bronzer. It's more of a moussey consistency compared to some of my other cream bronzers that are very creamy or feel a little more oil-based. This is a really nice moussey formula and it blends incredibly well. It's also just the perfect tone where it's not too cool, it's not warm, it's just absolutely perfect. I am wearing it today and I love when I work with this bronzer, but I've used it so much that I'm shocked I have not hit pan in this. So I thought it'd be fun to put this one in. Again, a lot of the products that are going into my Project Pan this year, and this is part of my newly revised strategy, is just that I have products that I super, super love that I do not have pan in, but that kind of should, because I really, really love them. And it will also make it easier for me to reach for when it's some of my very favorite products. The only product I think I'm going to struggle with is the Patrick Ta, but I really just want to see how that goes. So again, the running theme is products that I just super, super love and that are going to be easy to reach for. The next product is actually my Kosas Cloud Set Powder. So last year I hit pan on my Dior Powder No Powder, and I used up a ton more of my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish. I don't tend to keep a ton of powder on hand. It's just I have very dry skin, so I just really don't need to. But this is one that I really, really love. I often found that when I had the Charlotte Tilbury in my project, as much as I love that one, I wasn't trying to use it up. And I kind of forgot about it because I started reaching for this one a ton more. So I love this powder. I will say this is actually no longer connected to the pan. So that's part of the reason I want to use it up. I could just glue it back down. I don't know why I haven't, but you know, I'm just letting that be part of the reason I want to use this up. This one does have a ton of use out of it. You can see it's supposed to be like a dome, and it's actually kind of inverted at this point. So you can tell I've used a ton of this. I love this because even though it's a baked formula, which historically isn't my favorite, it is so, so light. It doesn't add any heaviness to the face. It doesn't ever let the foundation get cakey or heavy or dry. And on my dry skin, I need that. So I have the shade Airy, and this is just the most perfect powder for me. I've had this for about 2 years, which is why I'm kind of thinking it might be a good idea to put it in. But I truly do love this powder, and this is another one that's just going to be so easy to reach for. I don't know that I can hit pan on this one, but it's worth a shot. And finally, I decided to put in an eyeshadow palette. So if you're familiar with my Project Pan, last year at this time, I did put in an eyeshadow palette. I put in my ABH Soft Glam. And I ended up taking it out after the first month because I found I didn't like having an eyeshadow palette in the project. But I'm going to try again. So I've decided this time around I'm going to put in my Natasha Denona Mini Viva. So this has been my absolute favorite Natasha palette for such a long time. I don't know if it still is, but it is still one of my absolute favorites. It's definitely my favorite of her minis. So I'm really, really hoping that maybe I can hit pan on that. This is one that when I use up that shimmer, I will absolutely repurchase this palette because I love that shimmer shade so much. It is my favorite shimmer of all time. I love it. So I would repurchase this little mini. I love the peach tones, particularly on my skin tone. They're very, very flattering. This is one of my favorite palettes of all time. So I would definitely repurchase this one. And because I have a sizable dip in the shimmer, I think I could pan it. But I think that this will also just be a really easy palette to reach for because it's again, one of my absolute favorites. So I'm really excited to have this in the project just as an excuse to reach for it all the time. But that is it. That is my Project Pan intro for 2024. I am really excited and hopeful for this year's project. I have decided that I would also like to try to use up 24 products this year. I don't know if I'll be able to, but I do include mini makeup items as well. So I think that's doable. I do also need to purge my mascaras, so I think that that will also help toward that. But that is the goal for 2024. And part of the reason I like to have that is because I am a review channel. I review a ton of new makeup. I add a ton of new products to my collection all the time. So I also like to be making sure that I am also sending things out of my collection. So I like to have a project pan in conjunction with my reviews, and I feel like that just kind of holds some sort of balance. It's obviously not a perfect balance, but there's some balance there. Let me know down below if you are running a project pan this year. What are your goals for the year? What are your makeup goals, other goals? I just love hearing from you guys so much. And as we're at the beginning of a year, I love to hear what you're thinking of for the new year. But that is it for me today. Thank you so very much for watching. If you're new here, I hope you'll consider subscribing before you go. I do upload at least 3 new videos every single week. Thank you again so very much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!